Let's get into our first topic now in the front page of the Telegraph this morning. Here we go. Weight loss jabs will get Britain working. It's the claim of the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, who says obesity is holding back the economy. He plans to give unemployed people weight loss jabs to help them get back to work. The thinking is this: excess weight is linked to a host of health conditions like heart disease, cancer and diabetes. At the same time, the number of people on long-term sick is increasing. Now, the government plans to give thousands of people a new weight loss jab, and it'll be a mixture of people who are in and out of work, and they'll see if it helps the economy. But what do you think of this plan? Mike, what do you think of it?
Well, I don't think it'll work. I like Wes Streeting. I think he's one of the most effective of the new Labour intake. You know, I've been impressed when I met him and heard him speak. But I think it's a much wider problem. I don't think you can just say, give people weight jabs, they lose weight, they go back to work. I think one of the reasons why people are overweight, I think the reason why people have obesity is they have an attitude to life that they don't want to work, or they don't have any ambition in life, or they're basically not interested. And we know there are 10 million people in this country economically inactive because it's become a way of life. And I'm sure it's got worse since COVID kept us all indoors for such a long time.
So are you saying that all people that are overweight because they're lazy and don't want to work?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's an attitude in this country now which is, to me, sedentary, and people don't mind being sedentary, and that affects their whole lifestyle. But the other thing I'd say about the jab is, I think the problem with the jab is, I don't know what those jabs are going to do to human bodies in 10 years' time. None of us do. To say, oh, we can lose weight by just, getting a jab and you lose all this weight. I've seen some of my friends go on this Ozempic, and I've been shocked when I've seen them, and I haven't seen them for a couple of months, and the skin hanging off the face. I'm telling you, I don't think it's a great idea to inject a human body to lose weight. What we have to do is educate people to eat properly, to exercise, to get out and about, and in that way they will healthily lose weight.
Where I don't think many people will disagree with you, Mike, is that we are more sedentary now. Our jobs tend to be sitting in offices. We're an obesogenic society. You go into the supermarket, most of the food in there is ultra-processed. There's always sort of chocolate bars and things, very easy accessible. Maybe that's the reason that we're predominantly overweight.
Oh, I'd like to tackle first, the rubbish we eat, including me at times. It's thrown at us and it's badly manufactured. And also the lack of
fat jabs
exercise. No, look, do I want to be vomiting and have diarrhoea, which these drugs can cause? In truth, no. That 10 million you mentioned, economically inactive, is 9.3 million.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but it includes people who have got early retirement and people who care for kids or other people. Yeah. So it's not everybody's lazy. There's 1.4 million people or thereabouts unemployed, getting unemployment benefits of some nature. There's only going to be about 3,000 people on this study. It's going to be looking for guinea pigs. Now, if people are unemployed because they are obese and that's somehow destroyed their self-confidence, then maybe it's worth looking at. I'd say that. I don't think it's the answer. I think I'll agree with Mike on that. I think there's lots of other reasons. Maybe you've lacked motivation. Maybe there's no jobs near you that you can do, and you need retraining, or you need help travelling, or whatever. I'd like to see the figures on how many people who are unemployed are actually obese, because we know 3 in 10 adults are. Well, that means a lot of obese people are working. So why aren't these other people who are classed as obese? But I think having a look at it, I think, is not a bad idea with this trial. I don't think it's going to be a magic solution, but it is worth looking at. Do
let us know your thoughts on this. 0207 862 2222. I suppose what Wes Streeting is thinking is that actually it's not somebody being overweight in itself that will stop someone getting to work. It's the health conditions that causes. So you have somebody with diabetes, all sorts of conditions. And if we give them the opportunity to lose the weight and maybe readdress those health conditions, it would make us a healthier society. That's why they're giving it to people in work too, because it may make them more productive. And isn't it worth trying anything that can get our economy growing? I
agree with everything you've just said, but my view is also that you have to turn it back on the individual and say, you look at yourself, why are you obese? when the health minister decides to take charge and it's like he says, well, it's the government's responsibility to help people lose weight. I'm sorry. Once again, I think that's too much state intervention. Turn it back on the individual and say, look inside yourself. Why are you overweight? You eat too much, you don't do enough exercise, and give people a sense of pride in their own appearance.
Do you resent the government trying to help people
No.
smoking?
No.
Because obesity costs the NHS 11 billion, which is more than smoking costs.
Which I think is
partly because
8 billion.
I think it's because smokers kill themselves while people who are obese can just be unhealthy and live on.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind if the government had a fat shame policy, because I think you should say to people, you know, if you're obese, you're causing problems to yourself and to society, to hospitals, so you shouldn't do it. And I think people should be publicly called out to help with their own obesity. I only believe a very small percentage of people who are overweight are clinically obese through medical reasons. I believe most of it is the sedentary lifetime.
Potentially, but I do wonder, I mean, I'm no psychologist, but shame is not a great emotion when you're trying to make active and positive changes in your life. So to shame people into change, I don't know whether that works. Fat
shaming is an expression. It doesn't mean you stand in the street, point at fat people and go, ha, ha, ha.
Thank goodness for that.
You're fat. What I mean is...
You're all
hard. No, what I mean is people should, you know, have an attitude of, well, you know, it's not good to be overweight. Actually, don't you think you should do something about it? You know what I mean?
If you go to see your doctor will say you should lose weight, right?
Yeah.
But your doctor doesn't say, hey, fatso, you know, you're too poor. You don't want that, do you?
But you're under the impression there, Mike, that people that are overweight are unaware that they're overweight. Sure, there's going to be a percentage of people that might be slightly overweight that have kind of ignored it a little bit. But I think most people, if they are overweight, are well aware of the struggles that they have. But I'd be really interested to hear from you. Do you think this will help the economy grow, essentially? It's an economic argument that Wes Streeting's come up with. Sarah from Leicester, you're up first. What's your view on this?
I think the policy is a bit rude and not acceptable. People take medication that can make them sedative. That's happened to myself. I've become overweight through the fact that my medication sedates me. I can't get access to any swimming baths locally. I'm not happy putting weight on. And yes, unfortunately, it's added to other health problems that I'm now having a problem with joint problems and things like that.
It is a spiral then, Sarah. I mean, you're on this medication that makes you more lethargic, presumably, so you're not getting out and active as much. Do you think something like this would help somebody like yourself?
No, because it's too simplistic. The medication isn't going to change. I'm still going to feel sedated.
So what would help you then, Sarah?
Access to a swimming pool. That I've looked into trying to do swimming. So I'd have to go first thing in the morning. I'm not functioning because of the medication I'm on. And then in the afternoon, at midday-ish, which is the only other swimming sessions, is when I'm taking my next dose of medication. So it's accessibility to swimming baths for me, because obviously you've got joint problems and swimming would ease that pain, and therefore I have to take more medication.
Wes Streeting says that this isn't going to be a silver bullet, but I wonder whether the government are considering all these other issues and all these other things that they could actually have an input in.
Yeah, I think Sarah makes you're a good example, Sarah, because there'll be other people with mobility problems, might have dodgy hips, feet, knees, can't get around or whatever, and they'll put on weight, they need exercise, but where do you go to do it? You're right, we need more swimming pools, we need more classes, we need people encouraged to exercise more, as well as eating less and eating healthier.
And a lot of people might be watching this thinking, well, you can just go out for a run for free, but actually when you get to a certain point with weight, I think running becomes incredibly difficult, and swimming is something that
Sarah's clearly got medical problems and she should be given all the help the rest of society can give her. What I'm saying is a lot of people don't have those medical problems, they simply just get fat through neglect.
Okay, but even if they don't have physical problems or medication that's causing them to put on weight, they might have mental issues that's causing them to put on weight. There might be lots of other things that's causing it. Gina from Swansea, what's your view when it comes to Wes Streeting's idea of fat jabs for the unemployed?
Well, like I was saying to your researcher, I think a better approach would be to offer subsidised gym membership, maybe vouchers that somebody could take to the supermarket and just buy healthy food, your fruit, your veg, your whole grains, etc., and that would educate them into a healthier way of diet.
Do you think that
not just a diet, a lifestyle choice?
That people are putting on weight because they don't know an apple's better for them than a bar of chocolate?
Yes, I think people do know. I think people do know what choices they're making are bad for them.
Yes.
But if they're saying it's the bad choices are cheaper, let's make good choices cheaper. I think it would be cheaper for the government to subsidise these options.
So maybe a sugar tax to subsidise the healthier foods, something like that?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Gina. So that's two. We've had two different ways: open up more swimming baths, subsidise healthier foods. All of these things could lead to habitual changes rather than just a quick fix that a jab is. And cheaper gym memberships. They are extortionate gym memberships. But then again, do you need a gym to work out? You can do your workouts at home. You can do body weight exercises. You don't need all the facilities of a gym.
That's true.
No, you don't need the facilities of a gym, but you do need the incentive to work out at home.
Okay.
I've lost a lot of weight this year, totally on my own, by cutting out processed foods. That's what I did.
What did you cut out?
Processed foods.
Processed foods, that's very interesting. Gina, can I ask how much weight you lost? If you don't want to tell me, that's fine too.
3 stone.
3 stone?
Well done.
Well done.
It's taken a long
Congratulations, that's
time.
really good.
It's taken a long time, I'm not going to lie. It has taken a long time.
The longer it takes to come off, apparently, the longer it is to stay off. So that's probably a good sign, Gina. And again, congratulations. That's really hard work. Thank you very much for your call. Wayne from Cheshire. Well, maybe that's all we need to do then. We need to cut out ultra-processed foods, and maybe that's what the government should be focused on rather than giving overweight people fat jabs to try and get them back into the workplace. Wayne.
Hello.
Wayne.
I'll tell you my story.
Go on.
I've been obese all my life. I've tried all the diets. The only time I was slim was when I was 16, and I literally had to starve myself, and I was falling unconscious due to the low blood sugar.
Okay.
Apart from that, and my main problem is, which is with a lot of obese people, is not necessarily the fact of what I'm eating, is the fact that I'm constantly hungry. I can have a big meal and I'm actually more hungry after the meal than when I've started.
Is that a hormonal thing, Wayne, or is there a reason behind that?
I've never had no tests for it. I don't know. But anyway, so 2 years ago, I was having numerous problems with being overweight. Obviously, the blood pressure. I collapsed in the town centre in a coma. My blood sugar was that high and I didn't know I was diabetic. Smashed my glasses, smashed my face, ended up in hospital. So did all the tests and they said I was on the verge of type 1. So they tried me on, they put me on the best type 2 pills, and it was better but nowhere near perfect. So at my doctors, they have a diabetic nurse, especially for this. And they said, we've got this new injection. This was 2 years ago. Do you want to try it? Because, like I said, the problem is I'm still hungry all the time. I don't want to be. Sometimes I couldn't get sleep at night unless I had something to eat. Just hungry all the time.
There's something else at play there, Wayne, but again, you need to see a specialist about that. So you went on, was it Wegovy or Ozempic 2 years ago?
I think this is one of the first ones. It's called Trulicity, Trulicity.
I've never heard of it.
It's a member of the same group, and the component is a Dulag Lucky or something. It's the same stuff that's in them all.
Can we just ask, Wayne, sorry, if you feel hungry all the time after a meal, have you been to a doctor and explained your symptoms and asked him why that might be happening? It might be your metabolism or something?
I've been saying that for 50 years.
Yeah, but have you approached a doctor and asked him? Because, you know, people have gastric bands and all sorts of things.
Okay.
What happened was, about 20 years ago, they had me in the hospital, and I had to eat a meal, and then they had me stood up in front of a scanner, and they said they've never seen the meal go through a body so quick.
Okay, so maybe it's just the way your physiology is set up then,
Yeah.
then Wayne. But I'm interested in how the fat jab, sorry for calling it that, if that's a crass term. How is that working out for you? Is it good?
Right, well, from what I've been told and I've heard, I've been on it one of the longest people in the country now. Now, what happened was I went on it the first 2 or 3 weeks. I felt sick. I felt nausea. I had no energy.
Yep.
But I persevered, and then it stabilised. And then I think I lost about, give it another, let's say a year. I lost 3 stone. And then it wasn't really working as much. And then I asked to be upped from 1.5 to 3 milligrams.
Okay.
And that made me violently sick and dizzy.
Wayne, this doesn't sound like it's very good. No. I'm running out of time for this part, but I really want to know, are you giving it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Oh, thumbs up. I'd say I would give it a thumbs up, but they need to do maybe more tests on people like me, because after a while, all the front of my body went rock hard.
Oh.
And I've had to stop taking it about 6 weeks ago.
Wayne,
because I was having palpitations and everything. It was making me feel really bad.
Wayne, it's starting to sound like doctors really need to investigate your symptoms and what you're going through there, Wayne. But that doesn't sound particularly positive to me. But I understand that if it's helping you in the long run, maybe a rock hard sore front isn't so bad. I don't know. But thank you very much for your call.